Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 19th episode of the 12th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for a link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. Speak about links in the description. We are running our most liked characters throughout the whole entire franchise. 3 votes are allowed. Your results might be shown in the final episode. Cannot wait to see who you guys choose. Now, last episode, another interesting situation Amy Sheldon was put under, and it was basically trying to prove to everybody that they come up with this super asymmetry. You know, the two guys are claiming it. They've been on Ellen. They're getting the public backing. PR's rife. You know what I mean? Everybody's thinking that they're the guys that have come up with this, and Amy and Sheldon are on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? Like, their task now is to prove to everybody that they're the frauds and they are the true people deserving of the Nobel Prize. Now, they've hosted like an event where they invited esteemed colleagues, you know, from the university and other Nobel winners there to try and obviously show that it was their idea, and Amy's ended up blowing her top when these guys come over and still again trying to claim their work. It might have been embarrassing for her, but it did have to come out and people had to hear that obviously it was their idea. So I don't know what the extension and progression is going to be of that, but it's going to be interesting to see. Whilst we also had Bernadette create a child's book with the help of Stuart, who'd done the visual, like the drawings of Howard after listening to him tell a story about him being an astronaut and going up into space. Now he's scared of that, to the babies. Now he was kind of upset / I don't know, embarrassed of some of the situations because he didn't want it to be the little scared astronaut. He wanted to be like the astronaut, the macho man or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like portraying him in an amazing light. However, I was saying the story is good anyway. It's from a scared young or astronaut going up into space thinking that they can't succeed to actually going through it, doing a whole mission and coming down as successful. You know what I mean? That's a good progression story and he should be happy with that. So it got published anyway. He's reading that at the end and I'm actually happy for them and it looked actually pretty decent. But that's going to wrap up today's intro. Hopefully guys are excited for today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
Sheldon, look at this.
Yo, wait a minute. How do I know this isn't one of those joke phones that squirts water in my face?
Because that's not even a thing. Look.
You got called into human resources.
The twist? Usually you're the one getting called into HR.
Yeah, now it's Amy. Who knew you were married to such a bad girl?
It's no big deal. I used to get called into HR all the time. Miss Davis is great. Pro tip, if you find strong women sexy, do not say it out loud.
Oh, she wants to see me too.
Exactly.
All right, let's get our story straight. This is all your fault.
She's probably just gonna get a slap on the wrist.
Maybe. But do not ask for that on the wrist or anywhere else.
Thank you both for coming. President Siebert asked that I be a part of this conversation to help us calmly discuss what went wrong and how we can better move forward.
This is all my fault. I assumed you knew the Nobel Prize was good, and we wanted to win it. So that's on me.
This is a setback and we should adopt a different strategy.
Like maybe you two keep your traps shut.
Traps. That's a fun old word. Where's that been?
You have a shot to win a Nobel Prize and you're blowing it.
The science world is a small community. People talk. I'm sure by now everyone knows about your tantrum and your interviews. You're gonna lie low and let us do damage control.
Well, if that's what you want, that's what we'll do.
Dr. Fowler, you would be only the 4th woman to win a Nobel Prize in physics. I don't need to tell you just how inspirational that would be to a generation of young women.
The next words out of your mouth should be on a stage in Stockholm when you're saying, "Tack för dina ära," which is Swedish for thank you for this honor.
My prediction is, yeah, this is going to be my prediction, is those other two guys are going to get the Nobel Prize and Sheldon's going to give it to Amy instead of himself. And that would be the massive progression from the start of season 1 of a selfish, because he is selfish, he's not too bad now, like a selfish person, self-centered around himself, always just thinking he's the best and I'm the most clever person in the world and I want this Nobel Prize, to ending the show with a chance of getting it and he passes it over to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, that would be crazy. And to be honest, those guys, as I said last episode, do my head in. And yeah, okay, the university got to do damage control, but mate, you've got to start proving that your candidates are the actual factual winners and true people that deserve this award. You know, what's the point in doing damage control if you're not going to disprove or whatever, shut it down or tell everybody that those two guys are not the true people? Do you know what I mean? That's what you got to do. You've actually got to fight them.
That looks like the moped you used to have.
It wasn't a moped, it was a scooter. The two of us cruising around town looking for women.
Looking and looking and looking. Hey, I forget, why did you sell the scooter?
I got my woman. Then my woman made me sell it.
This morning I blew through my antiperspirant in like an hour. Plus, Sheldon's freaking out because we got in trouble.
I've got him distracted for a while. I don't even think it's possible to solve.
Solved it.
You didn't.
Not the cube, but the puzzle of why I couldn't solve the cube. Solution, use switch stickers 2, 9, 32, and 51. This is so frustrating. I can't believe the university expects us to just sit back and do nothing. It's hard for me. Usually I self-soothe by doing science, but now science reminds me of the Nobel Prize and the idea that we may not win one.
Hey, how about a massage?
No, the only person who touches me is my wife.
Even I have to let him smell my hand first.
Sensory deprivation tank.
Floating in a warm pool of liquid in a dark, soundless space?
No, I don't know how I feel about being deprived of all my senses.
What do you say? We could both use a break. Come on, I'll do it with you.
Not in the same tank. I already shared a uterus with my twin sister. I don't need to go through that again.
It's supposed to be actually really good then. Like, but I've always wondered, like, how does that relax you? Is it salt water? Is that how you float? And then obviously you put you in this dark pod and close it. Now, I absolutely love the darkness in terms of like getting comfy in, nighttime. For example, like when you go into bed, like to me, the room needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be, but if I had a choice, it'd be absolute pitch black, like where you open your eyes and you're literally staring at a black wall. That's how dark, like I would like it. You know what I mean? I would not know if my eyes are open or closed, and to me, that is relaxing. Because there's nothing to think about. Like, to me, like when you can see things, you kind of get distracted a little bit, and I don't know. Like, I personally think like darkness is clearness. You know, your head's just blank, you're completely dark, you think about nothing, you're just zenning out. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, like if you could see things and there's colours and stuff like that, there's distractions, and I think that it would probably work for me. I'll probably fall asleep, to be honest. I'm a quick sleeper. You know, I could get in bed regardless of whatever time it is, and within 10 minutes I could be gone. You know what I mean? Like literally I could be. So especially in a dark room like that, floating and just moving around, like I think I'd just go straight away. But there's loads of stuff I'd like to try, but I ain't paying for it. You know what I mean? So I ain't paying to be in one of them tanks. I'm not paying for different things that these guys do on here. Like, I mean, I'd love to do the what is it, that thing that Bernadette and Howard done, where they floated up and down, you know what I mean, pretended there was zero gravity. Not doing that, do you know what I mean? There's just loads of little things that like I would love to have a go, but it's just like it's money, I'm not doing it, you know what I mean? It's not worth it, even though like I'd be interested for it. But that is one that I think is pretty good. Like needles, you know, them ones that you get like a massage or something, they stick them little needles in your back. Always interested to see if that works, but I ain't paying for it. You know, I'm not wasting my money on it. But again, like I said, you know, apparently it does, but I'll never know.
Open them.
You bought me a scooter?
No, I bought me a scooter.
Wait, one second. Won't Bernadette be mad when she finds out?
She's not gonna. I'm keeping it here at the university.
Hey, would you mind if I ride it sometimes?
Yeah, whenever you want.
It's gonna crash in there.
That there, son, is 12 horses of Italian thunder.
Either of you done sensory deprivation before?
No.
Never.
Okay, just a heads up. People have different experiences in the tanks. At any time you feel uncomfortable, just press the panic button and say BB.
What do we push if we feel uncomfortable?
All right, are you ready?
I'm not saying this is why we came, but can I close the lid on him?
pH between 7.2 and 7.8.
Yes.
Is the water drained and replaced after each use?
Yes.
Is the saline level 30%?
Yes.
Does your filtration system use ultraviolet light to kill bacteria?
Yes.
I don't need to get in. I'm relaxed already.
I'm relaxed.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I just wanted to make sure it worked.
Hey, what you got there?
Tossing out this old helmet I don't need. I thought you were at the park.
We were. The kids got sleepy.
Great story. I need to make a phone call.
He's gonna say it's his.
Never mind.
Sort of like floating in space. That's some good stuff.
Wow. This is really dark. Open. Nope, same thing.
You winning a Nobel Prize would be an inspiration to all women.
I mean, it is pressure,
I was
that.
gonna be a scientist, but since you lost, I'm just gonna give makeup tutorials on YouTube.
Hey, big money in that. Absolute big money.
You're such a disappointment.
I can't do science.
Way to not go, girl.
Disappointing. Math is too hard.
I am woman, hear me bake.
Disappointing.
You're letting us down.
letting us
Disappointing. You're blowing it.
Disappointing. You're blowing it. Me down.
Buddy, how you feeling?
Aw, 5 more minutes.
Hey, Amy, relax. I'm a failure. I can't do this.
Somebody close her lid. She's kind of harsh in my mellow. It was like Disneyland, but the rides were in 35 dimensions.
That's great. I'm so happy for you. Sheldon, I'm freaking out.
Is this still about the Nobel Prize?
Yes, it's about the Nobel Prize.
And back to the mean voice. I'm Googling what to do when someone's freaking out. Whoa, it says here that a walk can be calming. Bye.
You still mad?
Are you still a jackass?
No, I asked you first.
I can't believe you were sneaking around my back like a child.
But you telling me what I can and can't do is pretty damn emasculating.
You were about to ride bitch on a moped with another man.
It's a scooter. I'm sorry, but I need to have something in my life that reminds me I'm still a man.
You do. You have a wife and 2 children who need their father.
Just miss the freedom I had as a younger man.
What freedom? You lived with your mother. Don't talk about this. Do whatever you want.
I will.
I just want you to ask yourself if that tiny, ridiculous scooter is the hill you want to die on.
Born to ride, buddy.
Yeah, watch out, ladies.
All right, well, wish me luck.
You won't need luck.
Yeah, only condoms.
I tried to console her, but nothing seemed to work. Took a walk. I came back. She was still upset, so I came here. I know she's unhappy, but I don't know how to help.
Sheldon, maybe you don't know what to do because Amy's always taking care of you.
Of course. And by calming down, I've taken away the one thing that gives her comfort, caring for me. You know, I need to have an emotional meltdown, so she's forced to focus on me and forget about herself.
I feel like I'm letting everybody down.
I'm about to hold you. Would you like to smell my hand first? Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr.
Raj said you got $800.
Jerk. No, the scooter helped Bert meet a girl.
Oh, that's nice. What does she do?
She's an ER nurse. A real meet cute. She popped his arm back in the socket, and when he came to, they exchanged phone numbers.
Like it or not, I am a role model. But you are wrong to keep me on the sidelines. I am smart, I'm capable, and I can make a difference.
How about have a seat? Maybe you like a glass of water?
Anything with a little more kick?
This is human resources.
You're right, I don't know what I was thinking.
With the stress of people like Sheldon all the time, and like Howard and Raj getting called to the office for all the stuff that they've done in the past, you know, you probably need to take off the edge sometimes. They do stress you out, HR though, don't they? They are the burden of the workplace. Like, you know, you crack a joke that's not even offensive, literally, and like you get the snowflakes crying, get called in, you know, but she does need to be on. Like, again, it goes back to what I was saying there. They need to be out there making sure that these guys are seen in the public image. I know that they was trying to damage control, but if you damage control without having the opposite parties being challenged, so for example, they don't do it much. It's easier to talk about the US politics like instead of the UK because it's more on the news. You know, you see it a bit more like from both nations who probably watch this. You know, most of the audience are UK and US based. You see debates. At first it was like Joe Biden against Trump, you know, and I'm not picking a party and I'm not saying who's good and who's bad, but what I'm saying is from the outside, when Joe Biden was doing it, the little clippets I used to see, I was like, mate, this guy always like doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about, or he can't even stay awake, or like he was calling people by the wrong names. And I'm like, mate, you know, if somebody is just looking at it like me, like, because I don't care really who's the president, like, I don't live in that country, it doesn't really do anything to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking at it and thinking, you know, look at this guy. I mean, Trump talks a lot of crap as well, but at least you can understand what he's saying. I couldn't understand anything, and now he's kind of, did he quit or step down, or they changed him, and is it Camille Harris now or something like that? But now the female's running, and you watch it, you're like, oh, that party's got a better chance now, you know, their public image. Like, if they decided to go, do you know what, Joe Biden here, because like I said, looking at it, and it's like, you know, he wasn't doing his best for his party, he wasn't doing the best to say, I'm gonna win. If they just took him out and just left Trump running on his own, Trump would probably just win. You know, like, because these guys have got no public image, they're doing no PR, they're not getting anybody behind them, and you've just got him there, seeing everybody waving, everybody's getting on their side. But now they've dropped somebody else in, people can see both of them, and now they can look and say, do I pick him? Do I pick her? Do I pick him? Do I pick her? Do you know what I mean? And that's this situation. Yeah, these guys are out here on the Ellen Show doing all this PR, getting all these people following them. Everybody's loving it. And then you've got Sheldon and Amy who are trying to say they're frauds, we're the true people. But then if they're not out there, nobody can see them, and nobody can say they are truly the people, then they're never going to win, because everyone's just going to focus on them. So I want Amy to come back into the fold, into the mix, into the forefront. And she is a clever person, and she would be able to stand her ground in a debate, in a conversation. She knows what she's talking about. It's not made up. Okay, she did blow a top, but sometimes you need that. Now that that's gone, it's going to fuel her and motivate her and push her and get her more determined to go through and take the people down. Do you know what I mean? So, like, putting her back out there now into the field, put me in, coach, basically, is probably the best thing to do now, because she's got more inspiration and motivation than ever. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see, obviously, like I say, what we do. It seems like this is going to be the story going into the final stages. I'm all good for it. I'm actually all happy for it. I wanted him to win something, do something momentous since he started the show, considering how clever he was. And this is the chance, and now he's got his wife and the person that I actually find really funny and entertaining the show as well by his side. You know, I'm hoping that they do succeed, and I want Amy to be there challenging them all the way to the end. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've not yet voted for your most liked characters throughout the whole entire franchise, please do. 3 votes are allowed. Yours and mine be shown in the final episode. Cannot wait to see who you guys pick. Interestingly, in today's episode, you know, Howard bought another scooter. Not a moped, a scooter, as he was saying. Big difference, apparently. And, you know, it did kind of reminisce of old times. I remember when he used to always dash around in it before he had his little Mini Cooper, before obviously he was with Bernadette and in a family. And yeah, you know, I always love it when you get snippets and remembrances of like old, you know, shows or you know, seasons that got you into the show, so to speak. I always talk about the 100, you know, they started off in space, come to the ground, all the scenery, then they moved. Then when they went back to the ground, it's like, oh, it's like season 1. You know what I mean? It's like when Lost was on the beach and they moved inland and go back to the beach. It's like, oh, feels like home. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these guys, you know, little bits here and there. When you get remembrances of what you first enjoyed when the show first started, you know, Raj and him together, chilling, you know, on the mopeds, going out, trying to pick up girls. Obviously, that didn't happen in today's episode, but the talk of it, the insinuation of it, the visual of it, it's like, oh, yeah, I remember. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember all those good old times? Do you remember when he dressed up as Goss and he tried to spit the girls up at the bar and then he went to get a tattoo? You know what I mean? Like, those are the episodes. You know, all she needs is a little jot a memory of something to trigger happy moments and stuff like that. And they used to spend a lot of time together, and it was good. So even though he didn't ride a motorcycle and he didn't actually do anything with it in today's episode, just the comments of it, just the thinking of it, it just brought happy memories back, and I enjoyed it. And I feel like Penny wasn't in the episode much, you know, thinking about it. She actually wasn't. Was she in it at all? I don't even know. Maybe it was when they were stood around. No, I don't even know, actually. I can't remember even her being in it. But you know, we are heavily focusing on Sheldon and Amy, and I'm all for it. You know, this is it. I'm championing them, behind it. I need to get a Shamey shirt. Do you know what I mean? Let's go for the Nobel Prize. And I made was it in today's episode? I think it was. Like in the episode, I was going to say, look, I feel like Sheldon could end up passing his Nobel Prize over to her, because he said only 3 people can win, you know. And the enormity of it, the 4th woman to ever win, that is a big honour, isn't it? You know, it doesn't come around often. You know, I think there's a movie coming out soon about a female boxer from the US. And it was like, you know, they hadn't won a gold medal in absolute years in that sport. And obviously she won 2. Well, I think she won 1 and then went to another Olympics and won again. And like, she's known and she's famous and she's revolutionised that sport. Do you know what I mean? And she's got a movie coming out about her. And, you know, people wouldn't even known anything. Or maybe people wouldn't even be interested in the sport until she's done something that's momentous. You know what I mean? It's like in the UK. To be honest, she's not even that good now, if I'm being totally honest. But what's she called? Emma Raducanu or something like that. You know, she won a Grand Slam in tennis. You know, she was only young, and a female Grand Slam winner in tennis for the UK is mad. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had that in time. She was everywhere. Everybody kind of knows her. She's a face now. I mean, she's not amazing. She's like Eugene Bouchard, is she from like Canada or something, or Australia or whatnot. She got to the final of Wimbledon, and she had like one good thing, and then after it's been mediocre. That's kind of like Emma Raducanu or whatever she's called. But her doing that and winning that put her on a pedestal where everybody was talking about tennis. All these kids wanted to play it. Everybody sees her as a role model. Everybody knows her now in the UK. And it's like, do something that's momentous that nobody has done in such a long time, or whatever, you will be known forever. And Andy Murray winning Wimbledon. Everybody will know that, you know, we'll never forget, because we hardly ever get that. And that's the same here. If she wins this Nobel Prize, she's going to be up there, one of the only females to ever win it. She's going to be a big name in science forever and ever. And you know, it is pressure. I understand why she's scared about it, but I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping it happens. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.